Today, na the 14th day of April 2023. 73 more days to the general elections na Sierra Leone. Na so we constitution be don say, for say after every 5 years, we for pick who that gets for can reign in the powers for make Salone a better country for the next 5 years. There are institutions we already there for make that process they be smooth. And PPRC now one. Today, we want to welcome the boss for PPRC on Sierra Network for the first time. Welcome on board. I don't know for call you Uncle. Mr. How you feel so go able address you now? We will all go able for feel like say you know part of we for make we able talk right now, sir.
Anyhow is fine by me.
Okay, Uncle Abdulai, anyhow is fine by you. The PPRC gets the mandate for make sure say the election process and all the political parties the more they come together able for adhere to waiting the constitution don't give una. How prepared is the PPRC for the 2023 election?
Well, we're very much prepared within the remit of our mandate, and we dey do what we can able to do. I mean, with the goodwill of the constituents, the political parties, and the general public, we're very hopeful that we will have a very quiet, peaceful, credible, transparent, and open election in June 2023. So, yes, I mean, I don't know if you want me to give you an outline of all of the activities we don't line up.
Yes, for right now, sir. Let's start from there.
Okay. I mean, I'll start with the one that is trending at the moment, where the campaign mode. I mean, Fambul remember say, sometime last year, we repeal and replace, we act, when the Political Parties Act of 2002, we repeal and replace them with the Political Parties Act of 2022. And the new act confers certain powers on the PPRC. I mean, powers aimed at curbing some of the excesses of the political parties that when they engage in, when they carry out their campaigns.
So give me one example, Padawandeba, like how you do and so you say curbing, like one example.
One example, now then cost, then stone throwing, then street rally, where they obstruct the entire traffic, where they make picking and go school, market woman, they will go to market. Even we waiting in our office, we're afraid for going to office. I mean, because with the fear say there may be confrontation between them. So some of them conducts and they way them don't they perpetrate. And you can remember, say, Fambul be always say, then constitute the PPRC for oversee the activities of them people there. Now then they misconduct themselves all over the place, waiting PPRC they do. Then and they will not be get the power, the regulatory powers, follow you call them to order. The whole act's not been given them power then they. So when we call it, a validation conference, where all of the parties they attend, then issues then they come up, and the very political parties they agree say, law we put in the new law, some sanction there, we will make, we control them political party there. I mean, they're not going to misbehave all over the place. And in view of the recommendation, them provisions, they put them inside the new Political Parties Act of 2022. They go through Parliament, they come out. So if Fambul and follow we on social media, we been get for invoke some of them powers then they against the two big ones, them, the APC and the SLPP. And all of the action we will take against them emanate from certain rally where them beget. The APC coming with their flag bearer designate from McKinney to Freetown, and the SLPP converging at the entire base na Calbatown, where been lead to a confrontation between them and the convoy where they come with the flag bearer designate of the APC. So we been get for invoke the law, and all two of them be the grumble. Then they say, oh, we high-handed, the fine we impose it too high, the SLPP, they blame, we say the warning will give them no fear. I mean, so we in the commission, we can want for take with political parties along in anything we do. So we decide, say, when they don't begin grumble, law call them to a dialogue launch, law we go explain to them, say, Then power there, and then give them. And then give them power then they, in recognition of some of the discomforts where then rallies there be the occasion the public. And so if we invoke them, don't begin grumble, law all consider we hang heads and law we know the way forward. What do we do? I mean, in days past, when they misbehave, we know they do nothing. The public be they ask say what they do. We been get a convenient excuse, say we not get the powers. Now, because of that lacuna we be in the old law, this new law don't can fail them. Now we get the power. So we not get any excuse whatsoever for give to the public if they were misbehave and we not do nothing. So we not come, we not will consider the law council, don't know we know how do we go about enforcing the laws there. We all come, then sign to a communique, say, okay, from henceforth, then go make sure, say, they observe we cultural and moral values in all of their activities, meaning they not get for the allowed and support us and for the cost.
I want all you and that quick. Because you say at first, now una all be agreeing and then give una the power. Then powers there, were they printed? Then print and give them for let themselves go understand them, say, hey, now this PPRC gets now, or it was just like, okay, we don't go to parliament, we don't pass them, so be it now. After the process where everything be done pass, so now be give them a copy, let them aware, say, PPRC get this power now.
Oh, yes, that's what I'm saying. But even before we come to giving them a copy, as you asked the question, the first one, if we print them and tell them, yes, we did. And we presented 42 recommendations where we have been proposed amendments of the whole act. We presented to the night validation conference in Bookfields Hotel for 3 days. And we deliberated on all of them proposals, and they then come and they accept 37 of the 42 proposals. We will give them, they reject 5. And then 35 proposals, and the way they accept, now that we send a law officers department as legislative instructions. Now from there, then do we bill. And when we go parliament, they all be there. In fact, we get the misfortune that as a commission, the people that were supposed to oversee, now the very people then they define mandates. Because who will go parliament, we will go to parliament. Parliament is being represented by parties. Everybody who is in that parliament, aside from the independent candidates, I mean MPs them, everybody comes from a political party. So when we build a go there, then you always get them parties there in mind. And then they define the powers within the GUI. And after the bill don't pass, when we begin invoke them powers and the way they don't confound, we then grumble. Now, we call them to a dialogue launch, we explain the powers where the law don't confound we, and we call them, say, law we all sit down, law we angered, we know one law we lost on our goodwill, and the cooperation we don't get from political party. This will take on along in the enforcement of this law. Law we all sit down, law we decide on how do we move on with this new law. What we want to go do for help we, for law will not come after political parties them, and maybe we antagonize the goodwill we don't get with una. So now and then be signed to them 14 and they but the fourth one way we all agree on, then tell the PPRC say next time we want to invoke them power, then they take way along. Don't just do it. Let it be in a consultative fashion. We agreed. And it was in the spirit of that last one where they ask, we say, if we want to invoke them power, then they will for take them along, for call them, we consult law, all and get law, know what they do. Now, in that spirit, they make, we been call a conference on the 27th of March. We tell them, say, election, they come. Now, when we don't use forget them procession there, because not to rallies, the political parties not ever rally in a street. Then we always be the process to a designated area when a Shaka Stevens Stadium, for men and go talk to their supporters. And now, in the process of processing, commuting to those areas and commuting from those areas within the campaign, now the supporters them they misbehave. So now we tell them, say, election they come. Most of them here will be the do, will be the process for cost the opponents, for check the opponents in campaign material, for throw stones, for stop traffic. The new political parties are not outlawed one day. So we want level council, we all deliberate. We all know what in street processions to designated areas for campaigning be they cause the public. What do we do? Do we still maintain the huge processions there we want to be they get rowdy and unruly, moving on to the designated area? And in that event, if any of una call out a rally, then una supporters they wanna pull them at street, then process in that number and then disturb the public peace, the public safety and public morale. We want to remind una say the new act now don't give the PPRC power for fine una. We'll start by warning, fining, suspension, and disqualification.
Okay. to get
with a mandate if there is any issue. Then the second option is either we put on hold then street rallies there, and we also reminded them of the fact that them, when are the politicians, them over the years, they don't render the politics of the country very toxic because of the things and where they be peddle on social media, the inflammatory statements, the tribal slurs, the ethno-regional, rhetorics, where they be deeper, the hate speech. They don't make the tensions, they're not high. So one will be aware of the fact that at that time, if you call out them massive supporters in the streets, you will not be in a position to contain them. As I speak to you, they don't even begin rallies, they don't begin chair and posters.
Because now the next will go get for go. But we see this one way you the talk show now, the APC they insist they not be signed up to that one day.
Well, this is where I'm coming from. So when we don't put that question there to them, then sit down and deliberate. Everybody that spoke in that meeting, inclusive of the APC, they all agree, say, no, we put on hold, then rallies there. The APC was represented by the Secretary General, Dr. Richard Conte, and Marita Mbaka, 3 senior persons of that party. They were in that meeting. But the Secretary General have been talk on behalf of the party. And to quote his words precisely, he says, since this seems to be the consensus from all of the parties here present that we put on hold and street rallies there, we don't want to look at the APC as a party where they promote lawlessness. So we are not averse to campaigning in designated areas. Those were his words. But the APC and the SLPP being raised concerns. The concerns were, now that we have agreed to rally in designated areas, we are concerned because when we supporters then they go to then designated areas and when they come out, what thing will be the guarantee when I go give we say they will not be harassed by the police? So the undertaking we will be made to them was that as a commission we'll meet with the security sector actors, them, the ONS, the police, and even with Sister EMB, ECSL, and NACID, for law try for design the guidelines that we would think say with una cooperation, we all go able to make sure say una supporters then commute to then designated areas and they safely and commode safely without let or hindrance. So that was the agreement. So nobody will tell me that anybody can get a dissenting view. Of course, APC, SLPP raised concerns, and those concerns we think say we don't address them by the guidelines we don't issue out yesterday. So that's number one, that campaign mode. Okay. It's one of the preparedness we make that we needed to engage political parties on how do we campaign. We will ensure say this election will be peaceful, it will be transparent, and people will be able to go out and vote without any kuskas. That was the purpose of that meeting. And then after that, we also discussed about the criteria where the political parties therefore satisfy for men and go able to participate in the election in terms of submitting nominations to NEC. And we tell them, say, for a political party, particularly now that we have the PR system, the PR system gives a lot of relevance to political parties when it comes to the issue of nomination. And therefore, for a party, for like we able effectively perform that role, that party get for be seen, for be functional. And what thing will determine the functionality of a political party when you able to do your internal democracy? Because all of them are clamoring to rule the country. So at least as an organization within the party itself, they get for be seen to be practicing democracy. And the internal democracy, it relates to the constitution of their organs, from the ward executive to the district executive, constituency executive, regional executive, and national officers. You get for able for do that one day through elections, intra-party elections. And then after that, the instrument, the way they guide the operations of your party, when are the constitution and the rules and regulations where they govern the intra-party elections, you get for able for review and revise them, for make them, contemporary and up to standard. Some of them don't do that.
Okay, so because I want to ask, 2 weeks ago, we be lancing APC, SLPP, and NGC. Now they meet all the criteria the way they talk. But after that, we see like the likes of ND, NURP, we see all the whole convention. Is the list still the 3, or una don't add more we don't meet so to the criteria we PPRC put?
No, as at that time when that pronouncement will be made, the other parties, then processes be they on.
Okay.
So as at now, yes, some of them don't also do that. I mean, they don't do the internal democracy from lower level onto the National Delegates Conference, as you observe.
Yes.
But there are some we don't do that.
So how the list look like right now? Now still 3 or like the likes of C4C?
No, it cannot be 3. Okay. Yes, it cannot be 3 now. I mean, maybe it would be around the tune of 7, 8. I don't even get offered, but some don't do them.
Okay.
The internal democracy. But there are still criteria they wouldn't suppose for meet. And those criteria, they include a reporting obligation to the commission. I mean, the law provide that each of them supposed for provide we certain reports, we go able help you follow know how then they get the money, who side they get that money they, who that they get that money they, the purpose for which they get that money they, and how they spend that money they. In politics, we call them political finance. We, as the oversight body, we supposed to know every dime where each political party raise and who side they get that money they from, and what team then get that money they for, and who that get the money, and after all of that, how they use that money they. This now accountability to the membership and the state. And the purpose of that obligation and the way the law put on them, now for make sure say let politicians not go mortgage with country even before they gain power. We don't want to let somebody go take money from multilateral concerns, business people, on the promise of a favor, like juicy contracts, very huge concessions. If I win, I give this contract. If I win, I give this concession, this mining concession, anything and they. I mean, we don't want to mortgage your country before you gain power.
How effective also, this particular one, because it's very important for, just like how you explain, and so the reason we make a day inside and close the name for make una enforce them. How effective PPRC they enforce this so that at the end of the day, just like how you say, una wake up one morning we hear something different.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, my brother. And also, let's not go take money from terrorist organizations.
Exactly.
You can't begin a run campaign, then it jeopardizes the security of the state. In terms of effectiveness, the new acts don't bring in another commissioner. Initially, we will be a 4-member commission. Myself as chairman, a representative from the Bar Association, a representative from Labour Congress, and the chief electoral commissioner. We were the 4-member commission. But the new acts don't bring in a nominee from the Institute of Chartered Accountants for make sure say they assist we with the document then we then go submit to we. And we also they at the verge of signing an MOU with FIU when I then get the access to certain financial accounts in case we need to investigate anything. So yes, we are prepared, but for some reason, most of them are reluctant to do that. They have not submitted, so that aspect of functionality, they're not able to satisfy it. They have not submitted their reports, and we are still after them. Over 2 weeks ago, ECSL don't write to me for make us submit to them the list of registered and functional political parties for the purposes of nomination. You know, the nomination there around the corner.
Yes.
And as I speak to you, I have delayed my reply to ECSL with the intention of getting them to comply. So I don't write letters upon letters to them, encouraging them. And I want to let people know, say, the law not the law. I mean, the same way the old legal regime not been giving them power, then it's understandable. We can explain to the public, say, we not get power. Now, when I don't confide them power, then they to we. And let people know, say, this is not a novelty. In Nigeria, in 2018 or so election, they had 92 political parties that participated. In this year election, now they're 18. That they participate out of the 92 that was there. And if you go to the Gambia, the last election, I think was 2021 or so, where 26 people applied for the presidency, the candidature of the presidency. Out of that 26, now the 6 qualified. You have 19 political parties in the Gambia, and then the others were independent candidates. But because they could not meet the criteria, out of the 26 that applied for symbols for the presidency, now there are 6 qualified. So let people not feel, say, anybody is trying to close the space. It's about you respecting the laws of the country. When you are a politician, All of them, then they clamor for wind power. And for Lego wind power, you be a responsible government, you have to begin to show that in terms of compliance with the law. And aside from the reporting obligation, there are not many of them. I mean, as I speak to you, I don't get from the SLPP. Today, I don't receive from the APC, and I also have received from the NGC, and then the UNPP, and a few others. But the rest have not done that to me. And I don't see why that is difficult. And they're also supposed to submit to we the list of the executive officials the way they don't elect from the ward level, constituency, district, regional, and the national officers.
Before we go to that one day, Uncle Abdulai, I want to make this finance business because the sooner than guna, the more effective una go able for scrutinize na tugutugu wetin nengi and the sources them na the correct one them. So let them know it stay last minute and then can give una able problem well, then that part of the law not go effective.
Well, that is why, I mean, since the act just came into being in December 2022, that is why we try for kind of be very engaging and consultative in the enforcement of that act. It's new to them. And some of them, then they see and say, oh, the PPRC is overstepping the bounds. The PPRC is doing that, the PPRC is doing that. And I will not give you this law. We have a responsibility to the public for ensure, say, what did the law say? We get to now for comply with that. You know? So, yes, I agree with you because these are huge documents. They're supposed for don't GUI. For law we sit. Now, if you go to the office, play no day. When we don't receive from the APC today and we receive from the SLPP yesterday, and then NGC also, I think, was yesterday, and then a few others, UNPP, the whole of today, we start on those. And as I'm talking to you after here, I'm going to my library now to sit on those. Now we see how much we can do to verify and how much, as I say, we don't try for come with the FIU, for many also will help you in that respect. And are supposed for reply to ECSL letter. So aside from the reporting obligation, the next area I was going to go to, the law say each of them forget functional offices. Now all this, the 5 regions, the East, the South, Northeast, Northwest, and Western area. Political parties forget functional offices. And that's another challenge. Not many of them do have, those functional offices.
So what constitute functional? Then can get a building in log, or what constitute, how now they take and say, well, this is functional?
You get a building that is exclusive to your party, and then you get at least a skeletal staff there. Somebody who should be there to attend to the public in the event somebody they come for make an inquiry. You know, if you get at least 1 or 2 staff there, we go there. You understand? In case the PPRC come, we want some documents or we need some information, we should have somebody to talk to. But you know, go get a shop room, and then you lock and constantly you hang, how will I put it now? You banner, they say this is your office. That is not a functional office. Yeah, that is not a functional office. The functional office should be exclusively your party, because political party no go there with other occupants in the same building. You occupy 2 rooms, then other tenants occupy another room. Because in the event there is problem, I mean, you are politicians. When I know say most times when I can get confrontation, in case somebody say, look, go to the office, you go meet poor innocent tenants again, you suffer inconvenience. So we can want to let the office be exclusive to your party, and also we make sure say at least you get a skeletal staff there for record keepings. Because the law also requires them that they should have records of their membership. Every political party forget records of your membership, so that if you get money, you tell me, say, this is a contribution from your members. You should be prepared to show us the list of your membership, and let us see if that kind of membership will able to contribute that money there. So this is the challenge we are facing now. And we definitely have a responsibility for go by the law. We will continue to encourage, but we are not going to allow anybody for stampede for do something that is not right. So that was the meeting of the 27th. Another thing we don't put in place, we get what we call on hindered access. We notice, again, because of the rhetoric on social media, tribal statements, inflammatory statements against each other, the tensions, they're not high. And we are suspicious that there is a likelihood that when some party go for campaign at certain areas, there may be embarrassment. And for avert that possibility, we don't get what we call an unhindered access program, where we intend for going to all the 16 electoral districts and talk to critical stakeholders, the paramount chiefs, the police, the party members, the way they all of them. We'll call them to a meeting that when a political party can area for can campaign, we'll not go and hear say we'll not disturb them or there is an attack. We'll not go and hear that one day. When I give access to everybody for can send a message, it is left with you, the electorate, for accept the message or not for accept the message. What you cannot do now for stop them. See, when I know they can. So that program is aimed at ensuring that we educate to people them enough and encourage them when they go pull the calendar for me to make sure say every political party gets unhindered access in every nook and cranny of this country. And then the other one back who don't line up, the other program who don't line up, we get what we call the hate speech conference. Before now, we don't constitute a hate speech committee. And that committee, they don't go around the country talking to political parties, talking to other critical stakeholders, the young people in their attire bases and other places, where they try for know how they view some of them statements there, the hate speech there will be they come now social media, and what they think is responsible for that one day, and whether they feel say they're affiliated with any of our political parties. We don't talk to them people, and they will get findings. There is a report. So now we intend for call the parties again to a conference for continue for engage them, for talk to them, and we want collaborate with Sludge, because Sludge through funding from UNDP they don't develop an app we now have verified. We go able to tell you whether a news is fake or is not fake. So collaborate with them in that respect, and let us see what we all will do. All of that is geared towards ensuring that we get a clean election, where somebody not go mislead somebody, and somebody not go to begin to peddle some hate speech, we go create tension. So we intend for call that one day as well. And the other program we will get now, and we get what we call the Peace March. If you be the following after the 2018 election, we will be the get them by election then, and then constituencies that will be the become vacant. Because of the same tensions there, the rallies that will be get they were fraught with a lot of problems. Some amicus they some attacks and they to themselves, you know. So what you will be they do then 10 and day when the cooling off period come. You know, the cooling off period is the day to the election. That day nobody know the campaign. So we'll be they take all of the candidates and all of them constituencies that will be don't get an election in day. We'll put them inside a van, the same van that the candidate in a day, will drive around the constituencies, the candidate holding hands and sending messages of peace to their supporters. That being get for help in a way for quell the situation down and for letting them do the election and be peaceful. And now that will replicate at a national level. So we don't already engage with NEC, we don't engage the police, that the 23rd of June should be a PPRC day. We want for dinner all the streets of this country on that day, talk in peace, and broadcasting recorded messages of all the candidates of the political parties, them talking to their supporters to be peaceful, for men and go out the next day, vote peacefully, go home and wait for the results. So we intend for do that peace march day with we. Initially, we had the intention of doing that with the candidates, but again, we were advised that they're not going to resist the temptation of campaigning, especially the next day will be the election. So what we don't choose for do now is we'll get them to give us recorded statements of peace, advice to their supporters there, and then we'll mount speakers and other things on trailers and trucks in all of the streets of this country, in all the 16 districts, and begin to encourage people to be peaceful. We want to let people aware and say, election, not to do or die. Election, they come and go. You neighbor on us.
Okay. Chine.
Ordinary people. Are you getting me?
Yes, I get you. One side where I want to with you now. Campaign team, the calendar no come out yet. Calendar no come out yet. When calendar come out for campaign, because as it is right now, the president of the country himself na candidate. How PPRC go able level up say yes, he is the president, but hey, himself they vie for this same chair where other political party then they vie for. We go make the president not get edge over the other one, then thinking to say, okay, me na candidate, but me na the president right now. So I get edge over them. How PPRC they cut that line, they say, right now, you yourself na candidate just like the other people, na so they treat you.
Oh yes, of course. I mean, we mandate is we deal with political parties, and His Excellency is a leader of his own party, and as he say, is a candidate. If he goes out there to campaign, the rules that will apply to the other candidates are the same rules that will apply to him. If he's out there in his capacity as a president, it's a different thing altogether. But when he goes out to campaign, I mean, the same way we will monitor and supervise the activities of other political parties, it's the same way we will do with him. So, yes, we are prepared for that. We know say normally there are issues when incumbency is at play and that kind of thing. But we are trying to do what we can. And so far, we get cooperation from them. In fact, even Slash, with some other organization, we want to do that presidential debate. We are trying to see how much we can do to get him to agree to attend. So all of the issues then they come on, you understand? So President Bio, as a candidate, if he goes out to campaign, the same way we will supervise the activities of the supporters of any other candidate is the same way we will do.
Because now that one the people and on the then they raise their eyebrows on the PPRC, say, oh, PPRC not go do this, not go do that because they're the president, and because himself they go for the seat, it's gonna be a hard job for every election body this time around, because waiting do the president self wants the chair and other people in back they vie for that same chair day. So PPRC the integrity people and get for CM at this moment, the PPRC team up on top of them, better one.
I think in a number of ways we don't demonstrate that when it comes to the enforcement of our mandate, we are not inhibited by anything. We go strictly by the law, as I tell you earlier on. I mean, the Act now gives us powers, and there are sanctions prescribed, and those sanctions then get and layer them. When you do it for the first time, we warn you. If you repeat the same action, we fine you. If you continue with that same action, we suspend you. And then if you continue with the same action, we disqualify you. So we have demonstrated that. When the APC misconducted themselves the first time, we won. And the secretary then of the ITGC was on radio. He accepted that, yes, what we say is true. Then apologized. It was not part of the plan, and then we mention say then do what they can in their next activities. I mean, aside from that promise, when they go again to McKinney for the national league, they repeated the same act we had warned them for. That was why we imposed a fine. And when the SLPP then said APC they come with a flag bearer designate, then converge in an entire base, we begin for provoke some confrontation between them and some members of that entourage. We will also get for warn them. And the Secretary General wrote and acknowledged the warning, although in a defensive mood that the boys were there just to protect their entire base. We know see them we don't bond our entire base there, so then we go there purely for Sidon, that in the event somebody will want to do that again for many about that. But that explanation notwithstanding, the fact that he wrote to us to acknowledge, we letter, and also pledge in commitment say they will do what they can to contain their supporters. Now that's what they do. So yes, we are aware of His Excellency's dual status as a candidate and as the president, the sitting president. But definitely when it comes to enforcing our laws, we deal more with political parties.
The thing where people and they think now say PPRC not able SLPP and APC. All the laws they own they put they say now for the young party, they even though they say young party no they because they say they vie for the high seat of the office. But people and they feel to say all the hardness una they carry it, una not able APC and SLPP, because right now campaign time not reach it with suicide and the chair banner. Then still they flood the entire streets then with banner. What is PPRC doing about this?
Well, I mean, for somebody for say PPRC not able APC or SLPP, I don't think that would be fair on the PPRC, because if I now say most of the actions they will don't take now against those two, we hardly have gone against the smaller ones. You understand? Most of them ranging from their constitution when they were reviewing and revising their constitution, we were very strict on them. We looked at them, we sent, we published, we invited objections, and objections came in. And those objections that we are of substance, we uphold them. And we ask them for go expunge them provisions and they with the at variance with our national constitution and our national laws. So we have been very strong with the APC and the SLPP. And so was their lower level elections. When they were doing them, people petitioned. And when they petition, they come before we, of course we oppose some. And with the council, the outcome of the election, and we ask them for go rerun them. In fact, in the case of the SLPP, now we say go rerun 5 districts. Kenema, Tonkolili, Bombali, Kwenadugu, and Falaba. We were there ourselves to do the elections for them. And the APC, when they were also doing their own level election, the first batch of objections that came, petition that came, we had over 296 out of the 446 wards. We sat on those in 2 days, and we upheld quite a number of them. We cancelled it. So we have been very hard on APC and SLPP. But that is not to say that we not get challenges with them. Of course we do. Nobody wants to be regulated. And as I say, we also, they count on the goodwill and the responsibility of them political party they are. It's not only about the PPRC. All of the action they are, will they take them with goodwill, with the intention of ensuring that everybody has a level playing field. And we also expect them party there for be responsible and also for showing goodwill, for support we actions them. Because they themselves not going to practice politics who say chaos day. They're not going to practice politics who say high tension in day. And even the people they will be canvassing to go vote for them, if them people there see the tensions are high, they don't go risk their life for anybody. So the people that need them conducive atmosphere, them very peaceful. Atmosphere. We will make them go out for votes without fear of any harm to their persons and property. So that's what they do. So the question will go back to those political parties. They have a responsibility. They have a duty to this country. They have a duty to their membership. And I've always told them that those poor people who are supporting you now love them they show now. And when I get for make sure say, when I give them back love, let us stop using them at their own detriment. And like these street rallies they are all they talk about. Definitely we live in a subsistence economy. People need to go out every day for fend for their family, for men and go able to put food on the table. And if you say you come up with that huge number na treat every day, and then those people who need to go every day for go get daily and nothing for men and sustain their family, not able to go out. No problem. Because people will starve, and then very supporters they are when their interest when are supposed for sick, when they put them into some discomfort.
So this rallies now for Freetown no more or for the entire country?
Countrywide. Definitely, yes. Definitely, it's not only for Freetown. We are not saying that people should not rally, and we are not changing. We are not reinventing the wheel. As I tell you earlier on, political parties, they don't always rally in designated areas. The only problem with the public, they get an outcry on, now when the supporters, then they move to those places, the kind of atrocities that they commit along those routes, and coming from those places, the kind of atrocity that they commit along those routes, now in the public be very much disturbed about.
You saw I don't pull guidelines yesterday, right? Just go through the few guidelines them, because the main one way SLPP and APC, they say when they go and when they return. So I want to address that one in the guideline.
Well, the guidelines them just to name not the regular thing they no more. That's we call on this. The party and their membership for men and not go they commute in very huge, rowdy and unruly numbers for go not in designated area. They can go there in groups. When they reach there, then you do the merriment.
So waiting constitute huge and waiting constitute group.
Well, huge is not difficult to determine. If they go in a group of 10, group of 15, for go attend una rally, I don't think that one will disturb anybody. But some of the other guidelines back, we encourage them not for use then loud music while they are going to those places and blowing of whistles, to the discomforts and inconvenience of other peaceful citizens within they, or for the blaring of horns, pom-pom all over the streets. So we say, men and stop them public nuisance and they, men and go quietly where you reach now you place who say they reach. you can do all of that. You can blow your trumpet, you can blow your whistle at the field, you can support your candidates, but while you are on the street or the roads, commuting to those places and coming from those places, other people, they need quietude. People that don't go all day, they don't toil for and they living. If they come, then go and can rest and get a peaceful rest. And you come with your politics, pom, 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 pepe, pepe, all of those things, we they encourage them for men not do them. Another guideline also, we talk to them, say, men not destroy the political opponents in campaign material. Like how they don't begin share posters there. So we don't go on to them come on a treat, then go begin share the opponents in posters. That go invite confrontation. And there is a likelihood of a breakdown of law and order. So we also tell them, say, therefore, see what they can do for stop that. We want them also, the attack on the property and persons of political opponents. Where they go, you see this host, if you say, this host na APC person get or this host na SLPP person get you begin throw stones. We encourage them for men to not do that one day. And men to also try for disturb the other commuters of the road by blocking the traffic. Nobody know they come out with them, come out now, they no more now get the street. The street now all man property. Every person gets a right to the street. So that right where you get for use the street, now the same right I get. But if you pull out your supporters them, then Mimotokano able pass, other commuters they're not able to use the road, then it means you don't infringe on the rights of other people. That is why we encourage them, say don't go in that large number. Go in groups quietly. You get to the field, you can blow your whistle there, you can do everything. And we also encourage them, say, men and try and endeavor that all rallies for end at 5 p.m. so that the supporters they go get the opportunity for go back home and a broad daylight. Go deep and rally till 8 o'clock na net. There will be security implications in the processes of people going back home. And even within the designated area where they campaign, chief who can they, this, that, So we also don't encourage them, say, let's all see what we can do for endeavor. And as I said, the PPRC has not provided a solution. I keep telling them this. What in the PPRC don't do, we don't offer a solution. And that solution will only come to fruition if we all show with goodwill and support the guidelines there, follow, make sure we get a peaceful election. So to say, now you say, men are not going large crowds na the street, but what guarantee do you have that when they converge, now then designated areas, there are problem no commodity. We have not provided any hard and fast solution. It is an effort everybody is making for ensure, say, we all put hands on deck, follow, we get a very peaceful and a very transparent election. And an election will go be based on issues, because that's the other thing we have a problem with. We feel, say, with people in this country, they don't dance plenty. And election not to tell for good dance and sing. Election at time for Sidom as a people, we get a deep thought, deep reflection, and we evaluate we politician them. Now we try for no, the one day will be done the day before, what did then do? And what make them feel, say, they should be given another chance to come again. The one that we did it now, which they don't do, and what make them feel, say, they should have a second chance. The one that we know one day go there, what they get way different from the one that will be done the day. I mean, we they want provide in this country. Those are the things we will want. A lot of people then get deep reflection and may them be given messages, because you see, at the end of the day, these politicians, if we not hold them to account, they will always take advantage. And they are very much aware that their street rallies they are then day to their advantage, because they make people they know you think, then just they dance and then they give them rum, particularly the young ones, they drug them. By the time they get to the designated areas, they are dead drunk. They're not able to listen to any message. They don't get opportunity for evaluate them politician there, and they like it that way. They don't want to be assessed. So therefore, they are making our people to converge and begin dance. I think it's high time we stopped that. We don't dance enough.
You say 5 o'clock. You say 5 o'clock, then for don't disperse. Now from who side and converge, who side they meet, they not for see the people in the street. How this they go about? Because understanding it for the between the one that will come for this particular side where they can't talk and the police will get for enforce the law, because not to PPRC they go enforce law. So how this one get for go about that 5 o'clock?
Well, at 5 o'clock, what they say is you as politician, not that will give any the guidelines, when they address you supporters, then I decide they want don't converge. You get for bear in mind, say 5 o'clock sharp, I for call the rally to an end. And at 5 o'clock, people should begin to leave that designation now for head home. So we are not saying that at 5 o'clock you should be home. But at 5 o'clock, whatever the message is, supposed to don't send them and tell the people them back for go home.
Some people they think say all the lawyer for this short term it too much. What in PPRC they say about that?
I don't think say the laws are too much. And I don't think say the laws they are, we come with them. Not to we come with them. Then they in the new political parties act. And as I say, we no want to come out and begin find political parties there, or we go to the extreme of suspending. We don't want that money. Because at the end of the day, there are security implications as well. And we don't want to put this country in security at stake. This is why we are engaging. You understand? So these are not too much of a law. These are all things where they inside the act where they don't pass. All of them things they are, they be there inside what will be they call memorandum of understanding will be they signed with them. But then the memorandum of understanding, they not get the force of law. And the political parties, then be aware of that one. So then they flout everything we sign with them. Even then by-election will be they get. Each time we want to get a by-election, we they call them, we all they sit down, we they agree on the do's and the don'ts. We sign papers, but when they go, then they do the contrary. You understand? So these are not new laws. And these are laws that where they exist now, other places. My brother, there is nowhere, aside from the internal threats, where the street procession there, they pose to the public, there are also external threats. In this world where they live now, you get organized crime, organized crimes, you know, where people then they perpetrate everywhere. Thankfully, we don't get any incident of that sort in this country, but that don't mean say we will be complacent. I mean, definitely you have the terrorist groups and other things there. The likelihood of them infiltrating their procession and they wreaking havoc to the public, they also exist. This is why in the West and all other countries, in the final say, they don't make their procession in the streets. When you want for rally, you go to a designated area or you move door-to-door campaign. That is more effectual. You understand? Send your messages, talk to people, engage the electorate. Tell them what you make you feel, say you are the better choice. Many vote for you. Well, I mean, singing, dancing, blaring music all over the street, you know, drugging the young people for many who commit atrocities. Like I've always told them, now we also get a prick of conscience. We're now within in the politics. When I get picking them. Of course, when you come home, you pick it on to you. As a parent, we're responsible. You feel good when you picking they can welcome you. How will you feel? You don't go take that poor man in your picking, poor unsuspecting person. You don't take your own picking. You don't send her on arm's way. Let go confront police. And at the end of the day, sometimes the police also, in their effort to restore order, some casualty can happen. And then somebody in your picking will go lost in life. And then you come home, you meet your own picking, he run to you, you embrace him. How will you feel if you get a conscience? Because through your own activities, through your own aspiration, and through your own political ambition, you don't send other people picking them. We don't go misconduct themselves in our streets. They don't come in conflicts with the law, and the police, they don't come in for restore order. If any casualty result, that poor parents, the same emotional attachment where you get to your picking, that same emotional attachment, that poor person inside get to your picking. But you take advantage of him, you send your own picking, you go lost in life, then you come home, you meet your own picking. Or maybe you picking and then at the comfort of the West. Do you sleep at night? Do you have a conscience that picking the inside in papa and in mama be like me own picking them? Do you actually sleep? So now we live. You know,
when you be the explain just now, Uncle Abdulai, we be the explain just now. You talk about say one side the way una even need the list of the political party, the membership them. Una even need them. This one come to play. Let's say rally don't come out, they don't come outside, they come out. Then they in a road. Some people then go and cause havoc. When police hold them people and the PPRC they can determine if the political party say no, okay. Example now, APC say no, not so will. Now SLPP people and the way APC t-shirt for can cause trouble. How the PPRC go able help police? How na go determine say no to so EB?
Well, they go there on their own side. I mean, and that is one of the most annoying things we they can do. They call out their rally there, and no sooner than people there fall in conflict with the law and they are arrested by the police, then disown them. We're also very unconscionable. Because you know, you call them people there for men and come out and rally. And then if they come in conflict with the law, then they are arrested. Instead of you go in to advocate on their behalf for their release or providing some succor for them, you deny them, say not to remember them. That's wickedness. I mean, we at the commission, we have what we call presumption of regularity. Now you party na in rally, and now you party color they wear. And whatever they do, they all do them together. You understand? I mean, let me just tell you one example. When I find the APC, I mean, they've taken me to court that the people that will be they sing that root song, not to remember them. And everybody who was around the flag bearer at that moment was singing that root song. So except you tell me, say, everybody will be there around on a flag bearer at the moment was an impostor. And how could that be? So yes, we get some of them challenges there sometimes where they do. When they call them people they are not treats, if they fall foul of the law and the law bets them, then they left them in the cold. Then they disown them. They don't help them in any way, which in itself is wicked. Because now when I call them out for can rally, I think see when I for able to contain them. Who's not able to contain them, if they fall foul of the law, you should be seen to be around them to see what you can do to provide either representation or try for see whether when I go talk with the police for see what you can do for them. But no sooner they arrest them people, they disown them. There are instances where they don't disown people, and then they come surreptitiously to me in our office and say, Chairman, what you go do for we not go na policemen and left them picking and then I can ask them, I say, I'm not to remember them, not to remember them. You know, and one thing I want to let the people know also, majority of the people in this country, they are supporters of political parties. They are not members. There is a distinction between a member and a supporter. A member, now somebody will officially register with the party, he gets membership card. A supporter, now somebody will sympathize with the party, but he not get the membership card, he not take the precaution of registering. And the majority of the people then when they follow political parties in this country, they are mere supporters. They are not members. So this is why the law make it very clear, your members, your supporters, operatives, or sympathizers, so that you will not have an escape route. Now, if you tell me, say, then I will come misbehave, so not to own them, on a SLPP can infiltrate, on a APC can infiltrate, I mean, the burden of proof is on you. Now, you supposed for proof to me, say, yes, they are not your members. Not to me for go begin to tell you, say, these are members. What I mean, our interest is, now you call the rally, and after you rally, then be there when this happen.
What's in one of the hardest thing per you own job where people don't understand?
The hardest thing we they get in my job, now the habit of politicians them wanting to use us as scapegoats. And then it's very unfortunate, and I think say it very much unfair on we own parts. Most of the things that they do like for help the political parties then, because we interest when we commission at the party. We don't care about the leadership, we don't care about the executive. Who that we care about now the ordinary members, because now they get a party. And therefore, most times when they engage in their activities and when we can go there, the focus will be on the general interest of the party. Whatever that is good for the sustenance of the party, now we favor. I mean, for instance, when they do the lower level elections, when we go there, the only level at which the ordinary members then can get a say in the constitution of their organs at the ward level. So now that level there, we can be very much interested. And at then 10 and then they use and support us then for humiliate we in the field, cause we mama them, stone we, sometimes they even attack we physically. But it comes with the territory. We try to get used to that. But I don't think it's fair. You understand? Because if we go there, somebody come and say, as I tell you just now, most people then when they align themselves with party ideologies, then they are just mere supporters. When you go for go do your lower level election, because you feel threatened by those supporters, you say, no, they're not for votes. They don't get card. How much people get card? And sometimes when we try to talk to them, say, no, these are your members. You understand? I mean, even when there are community people, then when they can attest, this man, we know him. We've always known that he's a faithful member of the SLPP, he's a faithful member of the APC. They don't want to argue you. That is the only time they will insist on membership. And when we ask them now for records of their membership, they don't have it. You understand?
Yeah.
Because they don't keep solid records. So why are you disenfranchising somebody because you say you don't get card? So when we can stand with ground on their issues and then they come at we, send and surrogate them, cause we, do some other things against we, and I don't think it's fair. We have a very difficult job. The commodity where we trade in is a very emotive commodity when our politics. So it's a very difficult balancing act. we have a responsibility, and we also get for no say we need for maintain the peace of this country. The office where we hold, I mean, the peace of this country also in our hands. We get for make sure say we not do anything we could trigger discontentment and we go lead to a breach of the public peace. So it's a difficult thing we have here. Ordinary constitution and they do when somebody objects, when the person don't argue with you, say this particular provision. Sometimes if you want to say let this one select or this that thing, and then somebody object to that, say no, it's not constitutional. When we uphold that one again, then they send the surrogate there for costly. When we don't do we ruling, we give them say when I go expunge this provision and when I send we a clean copy. You understand? Sometimes then they go back, then they do what you tell them for do, then they send me something where they fall a clean copy. We'll go read, we notice say, not to everything we don't direct one for do and I don't do. Because we say, we send them back no more, we'll go publish again. When we send them back, when they come back home, we'll sit down. We'll read them line after line. For now, we ensure say what you will tell you don't do them. When we catch them on anything and we tell them down the back, now my course now go follow. Now other things. So I mean, all of the idea of politicians scapegoatizing us at the commission because we will not do the bidding, now that they will find very difficult in what we do.
And what about the people we can always point finger by you say you know SLPP person, you old SLPP card. How you able for make them one and they understand about your job, what you they do, and political affiliation?
Well, definitely that's another challenge, but me not can take that one too seriously because one thing I get in life is somebody na your conscience na important, your pillow. When you go to bed at night, what your pillow they tell you na matter. I know as an individual, I've never registered with any political party. As you say, I may have my sympathies and affiliation, everybody does, but because I had a career pathway in mind, I wanted to become a judge. And I know when one of my colleagues then be appointed as a judge, he went to parliament. Then it turns out that he had a party card. The difficulty we go through for letting you get the parliamentary nod. So all of us learned a lesson from that. You understand?
Yeah.
And as I say, I have never, ever registered with anybody. But I speak to you now, for the 4 years and some I've been in the PPRC, I am the proud holder of 5 different cards for 5 different political parties.
Okay.
Depending on the action I take, somebody will go and create a party card for me, he publish them. You understand? Even in the APC. I mean, first when I was appointed, they published a card for me for the SLPP as Grand Chief Patron. And the challenge was turn it over. Let's see the Secretary General will sign that card and the Treasurer will sign up. You understand? Because I know for sure that I've never registered, with any political party. And then when I was doing the APC, I think it was the lower level election. I mean, when they had their ITGC, where they caught me order, you understand? Mm-hmm. I mean, there was a time certain decision we would take the next day at the paper, I didn't get APC card. They don't give me RUFP card. So, I mean, they keep giving me party cards depending on the action I take. So, I mean, that one only bother me because I know I have a clear conscience that I've never registered with any political party. I am not saying that as a person, I do not have my affiliation. I do. Because even the Chief Electoral Commissioner, he votes. So it means he has his own preference in terms of an individual. But that does not make him a member of a political party or a supporter of any political party. It's a right that all of us have. You understand? Mm-hmm. I mean, so the issue of me being a member of a political party, they don't give me 5 political party cards. So now they know now who say me there.
Your right to vote and the integrity for do your job. How you be able to get that fine line that they all two not can jam together?
Well, definitely it depends on you. As I said, as an individual, as a person, you get for always make sure say you serve your conscience and you try for do what you think say they help the peace of the country. You understand? Mm-hmm. I mean, how you read my intentions and other things, it's up to you to judge me. You understand? But I think what is important is the individual, what they do. And I can tell you that, but for this street procession, we will all be agree on for law put on hold on. I have won the confidence of all of the political parties. But now, because of this street procession, I see some parties that they come and say this and say that. But I don't care. I mean, this is why I don't make them by way of an imposition. I don't impose anything on anybody. This was consultative, and 2 options were given to you. You chose one. So if you don't choose the option and then you go report to a political party, then some low life somewhere begin cause you mama and this, that, and he thinks they can't go back on the word. That's your problem. You understand? But I'm happy some of them are saying they are going to take me to court. I look forward to meeting them in court because definitely that will help for law develop the political jurisprudence of this country. I not get anything. I know the law is very clear. Yes, it confers the rights of association and assembly on anybody. But in the first place, we not don't infringe of anybody's right for assemble and associate. Waiting with the edit is the conduct of those who are to assemble and associate. I mean, their conduct going to those assemblies and coming from those assemblies is what we are searching because the other people of the public, other members of the public, they also get rights. You understand? So we have not violated anybody's rights. Absolutely. Nobody's rights have we violated, you know.
Before you go, because the one way they trend pass all now this rally, now the trend pass all. We see motorbikes them the other day in the provinces. Now make I ask you say if na free tongue no more. What in constitute say okay with all them motorbikes here then carry the same flag, they say oh okay now the one way I think now the SLPP go give the executive them, they say motorbikes them for do them campaign and then be they flout with the motorbikes them for let them show say yes they don't get them motorbikes here. Is that considered rally or not to rally, Dandy?
Well, I mean the other side forwarded those videos to me.
Yeah.
And of course sometimes with very disrespectful words. Now you may say the ban street rallies, then this is happening, you don't set your motto, but with the way to with the come on, you know, that kind of thing. These are the kind of inconvenience they will face, you understand? And at the time I saw those images, we not don't develop the rules the rules and only yesterday then come out, you understand? But of course, when you send those things to me, I will make the necessary contact and express the concern that all of us agreed on this and we are developing the rules. We have not done them yet, and we are seeing this. You understand? So these are things that, as I say, as a commission, we also have a responsibility to keep engaging. And all the parties, particularly the 2 big ones, and I know say have been very engaging. You understand? I will only come out with the law when I'm pushed to the corner. But when I see those things, I come to the leadership, I talk to them, and I forward whatever that is forwarded to me to the party that is doing that, and I engage them. You understand? But my brother, you see, politics, even when you try to be as neutral and as balanced as you could be, they will never appreciate you. As long as it go against somebody's interest and that person they get the wherewithal or let it continue for create havoc on social media, they will always do it. So yes, this is an ongoing effort. Unfortunately now the rules are out since yesterday. And from yesterday, we'll continue to observe what the conduct is and see if we can do any other thing. Fortunately, the rally not start yet, and the rules were not signed by the PPRC alone. The guidelines we don't issue out were signed by the national coordinator, national security coordinator, who we call NSCOD, the Inspector General of Police, the Chief Electoral Commissioner, myself as PPRC chairman, and then the chairman of the National Council for Civic Education and Democracy. Now we all signed that one day. So it's a collective effort. We'll continue now that we have the guidelines out. I mean, barring whatever somebody will do in court, because it's your right. If you want to challenge that decision, it's your right. Let us go to the court and let us explain what happened and waiting be informed that consultation will be called and we'll reach that consensus there.
So this one way happen. So we you just try to get a gentleman's agreement. Say, hey, I remind you now, not a warning. You know, like I say, una can get warning before una fine.
No, it has not been official because, as I say, we agree with them at the meeting, and then they raise concern. What will happen if people then they go and then rally there, if then they come on and then rally there, and we promise them, say, will they go do
the guidelines, yes.
We go feel say it will guide me. So as at the time the incident there happened, we are not done those guidelines. You understand? And as I tell you, it was only yesterday that those guidelines came out. So from yesterday now, we'll continue to monitor again and see what to do. But as I say, we have not provided a solution. I keep emphasizing this. You understand? We have offered a solution. And the success of that solution depends on everybody involved in this game. The political parties, they also have responsibility for ensuring they go by what they agree to. You understand? We as a commission, we are making our own efforts. This is why we are very consultative and we don't foresee this. And that is why we cut across, we call them to a meeting, let us deliberate on this. What do we do? What is the way forward? Do we maintain them and be prepared to face the sanction if we misconduct ourselves during the rallies there? Or do we suspend them? And at the end of the day, one of the things again where we as a commission is bothered about, when then people actually misconduct themselves na treat, and then there is the natural reaction from the police to restore order. I mean, the accusation has always been the police are high-handed. Oh, the police, they don't use excessive force. The police, they don't this, the police, they don't do that. So I told them in that meeting, why can't we save ourselves that border and not create any platform we could warrant police intervention? Because police are not going to sit down when they throw stones, when they misbehave all over the place, and they have a constitutional duty for ensuring they contain una and restore order, and then they renege on that responsibility. They have a role to play. So why can't we just avoid any platform we will necessitate police intervention? You see, these are all the things. So instead of you complaining about police high-handedness, police brutality, police this, that, don't give the police the cause to intervene.
When this rally in stop one for make right now, let we not get them. A born out of PPRC, because if you can remember fine, Honorable Sengepo Thomas na Parliament, the Deputy Speaker, now in first be begin count this say, but in with the way be count say for ban rally na free tongue. Now that one day in they propose that in the, even though well on the other side they not be encouraged that for later statements they continue. Now out of that one day we get this or this one purposely come up from PPRC.
Before Honorable Sengepo make that statement in our parliament, if you will recall, we the PPRC we don't take an action similar to what we are talking about now. You understand? Yeah. In fact, it was on the basis of that action we took. You understand? We be make in the honorable subsequently be make that suggestion in a parliament. So it's not coming from him. You remember when we had this by-election in constituency
110, yes.
Yes. The APC came out, you understand? Now then we get the first day for do the rally. They did it very well. Then at the end of the day, around then 6, this is why we have also introduced that 5 p.m. This was now around 7:30 when the supporters been able. There was an attack on the opponent, winner Josephine Jackson. They're attacking us, they're attacking person, they're attacking independence. So the next day, SLPP was to come out. When people can say we are only acting against APC or we are acting against the smaller parties, the next day, this was the time for the SLPP for come out and rally. And from the intelligence we been get, there was every likelihood that they were going to revenge. You understand? So we as a commission, we took a decision and banned the rallies. The SLPP was not very happy with that. They were very angry with we. But we know what we are averting. We banned those rallies. And from that experience, Sengepo, when they were discussing that issue in Parliament, he made that statement. So this is not coming from him because we are monitoring these rallies. We know the inconvenience we go through when we had this by-election, anywhere they go. And one of the things that, in fact, we've been put now, we act, the issue of the blurring of the lines. When somebody holds a party office and he holds a state office. I mean, and also party officials will not come up from the regions who say the by-elections MDB. By-election is the most difficult one. This is why some of us, one thing we go be good about the PR system is the fact that we do away with by-elections. Because when it is by-election, all of them, the party officials, they are boys and thugs, they all converge in one constituency. So it's difficult to contain. And when there are people you think that these are people of notes, people who are accomplished in very many respects, you see them dancing to very obscene songs. then you begin to ask yourself, wow, where are the road molars? Who will tell these boys to stop? If you were with the penper, you day in their midst, you're also dancing to this. You understand? So all of those things now make we feel say, let's hear if they continue, particularly what don't happen on social media, all of them bad thing there. Them politicians and the operators, they don't depend on social media. If we allow that huge amount of persons, I mean, definitely we have the fear that there may be confrontation and there may be a breakdown of law and order, and we will not want that to happen. As I tell you, when we started this interview, as a commission, we are fine by any decision. The only thing is, for now, the decision is we put on hold on those rallies, at least for this upcoming election. If somebody goes to court and the court thinks that what do we do? If they outside we mandate, we are fine. I mean, we will have the satisfaction that we've done what we could as a commission for avoid any breakdown of law and order. So this is not anything. PPRC will not be rallying. PPRC is not contesting any election. So we have little or no interest in this other than the general interest of the security of the state and the preservation of the state. That is all we are doing. So this is why we think that a political party should be law-abiding. That is the decision for now from the oversight body in consultation with them, and it is from their consensus that decision came from. We'll expect each and every one of them for be law-abiding, for go by that decision. In the event you are aggrieved, the proper thing to do is to take PPRC to court and let them search with bona fides. Then look at what we do if it is within our mandate. The right way, nobody no get. Now for begin instigate your supporters and say, don't go by this decision. That is lawlessness and it's unacceptable. So if you think that you are aggrieved by this decision, where we all reach, now you feel otherwise that you will not go by it, it's your right to search. We are public officers. If you don't want to be searched and inquire into your conduct, not in a public office. But once you're in a public office, the general public get the right for inquire into your conduct, which is their right. But there are processes, legal processes by which you do that. And the processes is take me to court, tell me, say, this thing with this man don't do, you don't get no right for them, you don't infringe on the right and with a challenge them. If the court rules, it's fine. The satisfaction I will have is, Lord forbid, in the event they rule against me and there are rallies, then there is a breakdown of law and order, at least posterity will judge all of us. I have made an effort. I don't foresee this. I don't identify that problem. I don't call Wuna as patriot. Let we all sit down and deliberate on this issue, and let we see what we all will do together for avoid the likelihood of that happening. If you think Senabadadu, then court support you Senabadadu, fine. We are all law abiding. We're not above the law. We'll go by the law.
Let give this scenario quick. For say now 5 o'clock, you don't say 5 o'clock, then for don't wind down and everybody for the look for your host road now. These candidates come out na free tongue, say you want go na one part the provincial towns them. And it don't pass 5 o'clock, it reach them, let me say by 6, they say they want welcome them. They want welcome them from the entrance, because you know say most of them town and then go to side, they say welcome to so and so. They want welcome them till reach Usai, they pass the night for the next day for Usai then for go meet. That welcoming na una consider as rally, we then go say, oh look, go wait for an adoma wall now by criers them boku. So maybe the day he say the candidates say don't go, they don't go wait for make them ride with some take go say they go past the net. Na rally dande.
A candidate who is law abiding, for create even that scenario there. Because we all don't know and say convergence after 5 p.m. we encourage people to follow no do. So any candidate that is law abiding and we want for help state institution for me to achieve the objective in regulating the conduct of political parties, you don't get for create that kind of scenario. So I keep telling you, you at the press also when I get a responsibility. The issue where I can normally get with Una, the vehicle I can get for such state institution, we are not complaining. You are supposed to. You are watchdogs of society. But that kind of vigor I get for inquire into the conduct of state officials and state, you don't seem to have that to inquire into the conduct of politicians. We all have a responsibility. We all owe a duty to this country. So much as when I go inquire into we conduct our state institution, which is absolutely your right, and it's within the remit of your responsibility, we're not complaining about that. But what we are complaining, we think, say, in our view, you are not exerting that kind of energy in terms of inquiring into the conduct of politicians. And we think you should start doing that. Because definitely, if we all don't agree, say 5 p.m., we get rally for disperse, where are you? In fact, some of them think they ask, in 2018, if you observe, some candidates go and say they can't talk to in supporters them in the stadium. But because of the crowd where they don't pull, particularly the two big ones, even then safe, they're not able to get to the stadium until 8 o'clock because passage no day. So it's not even helping you as a candidate. Somebody go to come out at the west there for going to stadium, or they come out at the east for Ghana stadium. By the time you get there, it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock p.m. because the roads were blocked. There was no way you were able to pass for CAM and send out your campaign messages. So who is that helping? So we are appealing also to the press. You have a responsibility to look into the conduct, yes. If I don't want to look into my conduct, I go left public office, I go to my private business. But even in a private business, you get a right as a watchdog of society for inquire into what I do. But I don't think, say, when I do that much with respect to the politicians and conduct as when I do with state institutions. Politicians, they misbehave all over the place, but you don't go after them. And then when we come for restore quietude and orderliness, then we are the object of your inquiries. I mean, we are saying, yes, inquire into we conduct, but let it be balanced. Because we also get it's a duty we owe to the country. We are paid from the taxpayers' money. If now the law when they regulate we conduct don't tell we say, party not for do A, B, C, D, and then we come out with the guidelines for ensure say we enforce that law day. What wrong have we done? And if you as a political party, you know, see that is what the law says, and then regulation there for guide the conduct, then because you think you have numbers, you flout that one day. I think say when for the accident itself question, they hard questions I want to ask we.
Yeah, I don't get that part there. But what thing I try for saying now, like when say they welcome the leader. That welcome is that when a constitution as a rally, when they say they welcome, oh the leader they come, they go welcome him. Now rally that one day.
The leader, if he's law abiding, if a try for day, whatever designation way they go to, before 5. If that is the law now. Okay. I'm still emphasizing on the responsibility of the leader. If you are law abiding and you don't want for create chaos, you for good. And you know, even yourself, as you be the talk just now, there is a possibility, according to them, that the opponent may infiltrate your rally. Not so? Mm-hmm. And you go there in the dark. If what they say is anything to go by, Lord, imagine say the opponent is amongst your supporters, they send stone by you. So even for their own safety is not good. And we don't want for let somebody say they don't stone we candidates, then that will spark off some trouble. You understand? Yeah. Because when you stone political party in candidates or you do any harm to them, the other party will respond. And then there is confrontation. So even this time we will talk about, now for avert the incident there, the likelihood of that happening, Lord forbid, that somebody is campaigning and then stone come up from nowhere hitting it. It will bring problems. So what we are doing is not to benefit the PPRC, it's to benefit this country and for ensure say we keep the peace and tranquility of this country. That's all we are doing. But if somebody thinks that we are doing bad and is aggrieved, it takes us to court. If there are lordship that will sit in that matter or on that matter, then feel say you have a case and they declare that what we have done is unlawful, it's fine by us. All of us will pray that you go out and conduct yourself in manners that are acceptable in society. But if you go out, you misconduct yourself, then the law is there. We hope when we'll find somebody not going to tell we say we are witch hunting, or we are one-sided, or we are this, we are that. I mean, you want to do things and you don't want to face the consequences. And then when we try for say, we'll come together, we sit down for law, avoid any of those things happening. we go lead to you being mulcted in any hardship, then that's again is bad. So what you want to do now? Long as you don't fall on, I mean, knowing fully well that the antecedents of the rally, they are the kind of trouble and disturbance with the rallies that we are all Sierra Leoneans, we all don't in this country. We all know what they happen when people they are common do. We all know. We all know the inconvenience when they put the public through. All of us are aware of this. So as an oversight body, and now that the powers are conferred on us to contain those conducts, Lord, we sit down, we not do nothing. Is that what people are telling us? Lord, we wait until they do bad, then some innocent person go down suffer, and then when we come after them, we'll find them. Then the problem will be not we support them. Oh, now we know more when they do this. Oh, police then be react too badly. Why can't we just all adopt something where we go avoid all of the rhetoric steady? That's what we are doing. But if that is bad, it's fine by us. Go to court. We will also try to offer our own explanation, which will be informed that decision day. We call them, now we come to a consensus. If the court not agree with we, it's fine. We are an institution created by law, so we are bound by the law. If the court not agree with we, it's fine. We will sit now and wait to invoke the powers that are conferred on us in case anybody misconducts himself. And we pray that the public peace, the public safety, and our public morality will still be maintained. My brother, how can you sit and allow people coming out with, pardon me, French, bastard picking songs, radical songs? I mean, it's not helpful. Mami calls all over the place, stone throwing, attacks on the political opponents. Is that helping us?
Before I let you for go, what's in now the rift between PPRC and Unity Party, Madam Femi Claudius Cole?
We don't have any rift with Femi Claudius Cole. It's all about people respecting state institution. And I mean, men left for the profile we and try for paint we black in the eyes of the public. Femi Claudius Cole came to us. He wrote to us that he want to go do in district executive elections. And when we start this interview, I've been telling you, say, we will focus in any political party in the ordinary membership. So we tell and say, how you go just jump to district executive election where the ordinary member not the vote? You understand? We'll not get any evidence say you don't do the ward election or the constituency executive election. You don't do the 8. They want jump go to district elections. So we tell and say, no, you cannot do that. Go back, let you do your ward election, and you do your constituency executive election. Femi Claudius Cole took to the airwaves in every media outlet that was available to her and give a lot of vilification against us. How will they target them? How will they this? Will they do that against in political parties? How we bias? How we this? All sort of unjustifiable accusation he laid them against we. So okay, and see how we deal with them. We call her to a meeting. We come. Now the meeting, we tell and say, we have no reason to target you. You have been elected into that office as chairperson of your party for 3 years since 2017. And from 2017 to 2022, at that time when we met with her, you don't do any election. So which means you have held over your office for over 2 years. And you are the very people who are quick at accusing other people. Say, try announce election dates. You know, for stay 1 day. I mean, outside the mandate where you get. And if you are doing that to other people, then say yourself get for ensure, say, you practice what you preach. You know, don't do that 1 day. If we are targeting you by the decision in the matter between Alfred Peter Conte and the APC, it means your executive is no longer effectual. It don't expire. We can dissolve that executive day on the basis of that ruling, pray in aid to that precedent day. But we don't do any of that. So what we advise you is go back, do the ward executive election, and do the constituency executive election. He confessed to we say, we know the size of his party and the size of his membership. Definitely, he not get members everywhere. He cannot do ward election in all of the 446 wards in the country. We said, we understand. We know the size of your party, we know the membership, but all what we interested in, the participation of the ordinary members of your party in areas where you get membership. So go and do these ward elections. Now reward them, we get membership. Just so that we could be satisfied, say, the ordinary member of your party don't get a say in the constitution of the organs of your party. We agreed on that. He left. When he come out, instead of go back to do what you would not tell at the meeting, a right way again announcing a date for district executive elections. And then we said, we had given you an advice, say, go do the ward elections where you think you have membership. Why again, you can't tell me? And the letter way, right way, there are no venues. You gave us a date that you are going to do the election. There are no venues. So we alerted, provincial staff them, say, be on the standby and try for, say, although this one don't supply with any venue, go be on the standby and see if she's doing any election anywhere and make sure you attend and observe. The date the way you say the re-election, the entire staff now the PPRC not been get any evidence of any election anywhere. And then subsequent to that letter, it send we a list of delegates. We say don't call a national delegates conference. Then they put people them as a constituency executive, district executive, regional executive. It's an answer. Then we begin to wonder, when did she do these elections where they can send me a list of executive? We not aware of the election there. You don't show me any venue. And we don't ever know who say do the election there. So out of an abundance of caution, we chose to call some of the people them. We submit the names and so we say they are either district executive, constituency executive. There were numbers. We called them. And a good number of them, they say, me not a member of the Unity Party.
How that call they take place? Because he explain how he say then call the people them, as then call the person and say, whose party were you there? Now so the video we make, and so you explain. So whose party were you there? They say, who are they talking at the phone? You say you no need for know that they talking at the phone. Whose party were you there? Now so the call be happen?
Even if that is how the call happen, what is wrong in that? We are making an inquiry. You understand?
But somebody need for identify himself.
Let me come without conceding to what they say. Even if that was the nature of the call, there is nothing wrong in that. It's an inquiry. You can post your question in any way, as long as you want to get the fact. If I ask you whose party you are and you know say you're a Unity Party, the instinctive answer to that question is me a Unity Party member. So what's wrong in that question? I mean, let's left for the pampering people there. Forget about how we did it. But what thing I want to tell you is, I'm just saying, without conceding to that accusation they make, which to me is unfounded. You understand? It does not matter how I pose my question. If you know, say you're a Unity Party member, no matter how I come.
No, by the way, how the political arena they right now in a salon, I think some people will be afraid to say, now this party are they.
So if you are afraid, you could tell me, say, land know you first, land I tell you.
But now so he say the ask say land know that they talk. He said no.
Let me come. I cannot ask you whose party way they want to identify myself. Then he say I'm APC or I'm SLPP or me another party. Me a civil servant. But in fact, knowing the character who they deal with, we ensure that those calls are recorded. When we make them call, we identify ourselves. I am the regional director. This corner from PPRC. The clips are there. The records are there. That's why Mickey always tell them, say, when we, the PPRC, do something, if we say we don't transgress against the law, where they govern we, check we go court. We're not there above the law. And some of the evidence, and we keep them. Everything we do in that commission, we record, my brother. So when we make them call them, we recorded the people. This is a call from PPRC. Are you a member of Unity Party? Say, no, me na APC, me na SLPP, no, me na civil servants. The one day we say then a Unity Party, who still want to do an election? No, who not do election and just can't give me position. So we have all of those clips. I mean, let me try to do justice to because let me preach. I mean, let me practice what you will preach. You cannot be searching people their integrity when yours is compromised. So, I mean, I just try to say is we have the recorded clips of the answers and how the questions were posed. Don't go to the public and you begin to find excuse for let you avert the public mind from the wrong way you don't do. That is the emphasis I'm making here. It's like when they catch you the thief, you say not to me one day thief. How does that matter? Now you didn't catch. And how does that explain the wrong way you don't do? Because other person back thief. That does not explain in any way the wrong way you don't do. So we call, our people identified. We have over 50 to 100 of those recorded clips. And I told my staff that when you are making these inquiries, make sure you record the conversation. And they were recorded. So we come back to them, we tell them, say, this list we don't give we. Some people they deny, they say they don't belong to a party. Some people they tell we say, sometimes you go say this now district executive from Mayamba, what we call you say they Kailan. So how does that rhyme? I mean, Lord be ashamed of some of the conducts them. Lord left for the vilified people them, and we try to fine tune which we don't do, and we cover the bad way we don't do. Then we put other people there on bad lights. We are just doing a job.
So what's in the status now between the PPRC and the Unity Party?
Oh, well, I mean, that is where I was going. I mean, the status is simple. After we don't do the inquiry the day, then later it serve a letter saying they do a national delegates conference that she was inviting us to. And the Inspector General of Police, when they do the national delegates conference, they write to them for clearance and security coverage. And the Inspector General of Police now what we get is aware of the fact that we are the oversight body. So each time you get any letter from any of those political parties, then they cross-check with we. Then they write to me officially that I don't receive this letter from this political party. Are you aware? Are you with me? I'm hearing whispering.
No, I do with you. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes. The Inspector General of Police can write to we and inquire from we say, I don't get this letter from this party. They are organizing a national delegate conference. Are you aware? When he wrote to us in this instance case, we wrote back to him that these are our findings. And because of these findings, we are constrained not to attend that conference. That was our reply. And even that is an offense to Femi. Now we don't go call police banner. Police wrote to us. We only replied to the police letter that yes, they have invited us, but we don't find out say the delegate list we show we is not correct. And therefore we as a commission, we feel constrained that we not for attend our conference. The police use their discretion. I cannot command the police waiting for do and waiting not for do. But if he asks for clarification from me, I'll provide that clarification. And when I do, it's up to the police. Everybody gets your institution where they run. I can't tell another institution what to do and what not to do. But I have a responsibility when a sister institution writes to me for make an inquiry or seeking clarification to provide that. And that was all we did. And because of that, the police withdraw their clearance. And yes, still she moved with the people then. Now in office, he said they go elect national executive. So about 3 or 4 days ago, about 2 weeks ago back, the executive secretary called him to a meeting. They had a meeting, and he advised them, say, go back and do your lower level election before they do anything. But when Akami reported the outcome of the meeting where he gets with them, I advised the executive secretary, say, we know the people we are dealing with, put it in writing. So we have written to her for let go back and do in what he said. I understand that today she's replied to that letter requesting us to provide the evidence of our inquiry and to provide the minutes we get of the meeting we get with the years. You understand? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I have not seen the letter yet, but I have been informed that the letter came today. By then, maybe don't let for office around them 5.
Okay.
You know, that's when they called me to tell me that we have a letter from her.
So what you want left with me? Concerning...
Well, the thing is,
concerning after you read that letter there, what think will be the next step of the PPRC towards her?
If it warrants a reply, I will reply. If it does not warrant a reply, I will ignore. You know, that's the only thing I can say. But as I say, I have not read it. Then tell me after me being there, I come home, then tell me say they got a letter from her. I mean, apparently in reply to the letter yesterday or the day before yesterday, I don't know. So I'm going tomorrow morning, God willing, if I get off my bed, well and hearty, I'll go and read through the content, and then we'll make a decision as a commission. I even understand that she's also requested a meeting of the commission. So let me go through the letter and see what decision the commission will take.
Okay, so what you want left to we on a nutshell? What
you want left to everybody is let we all focus on the duty we owe to this country. Definitely, everybody get a responsibility to the state. You may not like me. I may not like you. But if at the moment you are legitimately in an office, I think I will work with you. And if I think, say, you don't go in excess of waiting the mandate you for do, I have my channel to go to. I'll go to the law to challenge you. But this idea of talking down on public officials, it is very disrespectful and it is hurtful. And I don't think if you are in that office, you will want to be treated in that manner. We have to be civilized. In all the meetings where I don't get with them after the Nigerian election, I've always reminded them of the first press conference where Peter Obi make. I've appealed to them, let us show leadership. Leadership is about restraint. Leadership is about controlling your emotions. Leadership is about sending out the right message for the young people to copy from. Peter Obi was very hopeful in that election. And almost everybody who is accomplished, private people, the Nollywood actors, the business people, everybody supported him. But when the voters they decide otherwise and Peter Obi gets issue with the result, he called a press conference. And the respect he won from me in that press conference, he did not attack any state institution or state official. He called his supporters that is grossly dissatisfied with the elections, and he thinks that the result not reflects the will of the people, but let his supporters then become, and at the end of the day, he's going to seek redress from the court. The strongest word we Peter Obi used in that press conference is that as far as he's concerned, this election will go down as the most controversial in the country, in this country. Controversial was the strongest word where that man used in that press conference. That is leadership. You are angry, but you don't make any emotions and get the better of them. And you know, put in political ambition above the survival of the state. He spoke to his supporters then calmly, so let we emulate that kind of leadership then. You cannot be going around disrespecting state officials at will, and you are clamoring to come to office, and then at the end of the day, if you're in that office, you will expect respect from other people. What goes around comes around. People for know that one day. I mean, we are all serving our country, and we are all Sierra Leoneans. Everybody has the right to occupy those offices when it is your opportune time, when it is your calling. If God in own time they can't serve, you didn't allow office there. If I go in excess of my authority, instead of they go sit down and media, they curse people, they call people all sorts of names, they vilify people. Why you not go challenge my decision in the rightful way? I mean, it's sad. So I hope that people will demonstrate leadership. People enough for they allow their emotions for getting better of them, and people enough for put their personal aspiration and maybe you personal vendetta where you get somebody at the detriment of the state interest. It's not serving any purpose. And that's a failure in leadership. When you cannot control your emotions, and then you allow them to forget the better of you, and then when you take your personal hate and vendetta into state matters.
Thank you very much, Uncle Abdulai, for the time you spent to read today. And I believe we all don't get from you. Hopefully, all within transpire and also today. And so we'll go see unfold on the part of the PPRC, the part of we the people, the part of the political party them. Like you said, we all get part for play. So we all play the part well and then with integrity, because that one day in short supply in us alone. But with integrity, definitely we go able to foresee the 2023 election free, fair, and credible. Thank you, Uncle Abdulai.
My pleasure.
So that was the PPRC boss. We get me at today. I believe you don't listen to the conversation. Maybe question the way be what may I ask, why I not ask. And one thing you for understand, you will listen. It's difficult for them platform, yeah. We know to like the traditional FM station in as alone forget people in like them wire. So when you have the opportunity, you know how you go use them. I believe say some questions then you understand. The answers them, the question and the answers them, it left to you for be rational. Because I see through the comments like people want me to, no, how I know how for do, how I know how for practice, how I know how for ask me question, that's what I'm doing. And S Bangura, I want you turn and down. I really want to make you turn and down. Yeah? Because you they use words them way if now other people them who don't block them. I really want to make you turn and down. Because you know, see that's not even allowed now the platform. Just like how Uncle Abdulai be the talk just not say. Make you emotion. Make you emotion. Okay. Welcome on board, who's friend? Just quick answer. What do you make up of the conversation?
Yeah, thank you very much, Triple A, for giving me this period for just talk on. We brought that is PPRC job what they do. I'm waiting actually I observe here now an issue a challenge of how them go able for transition between that MOU and the act what they don't can bring. Because first they tell we say all this wouldn't they do so in terms of regulating regulating registration and try to organize let the election will go before. But we know say the transition now where they get it difficult, challenges them where they look at people and behavior and ideas them and way politicians they don't they behave. And you see, I like 3 areas where I've been very interested on the top of people who are registered members or just people who they like who are vigilante or some then are just kind of people and just they support. But the one that would support can call us on then and then swing voters who they not can just know. But the operatives and the members then Martina they the issue there. Because some you can get operatives that would and they say, okay, go do this, or they be guide, or they do this. Some they're not even still be members. But now the challenge is now of that idea where we don't put for say we agree and then we don't know. But now the government don't put as an act in terms of public account something. Then get the name with and column. So in terms of the public account or public account policy, wouldn't be get for can put for let them go able for regulate them party there. So now you don't bring the challenge now. So but me no say the challenge I not say now an area of putting things right, protect the people in back for letting them go become victims of problem. And then protect all the things that we don't talk. So always the drive was saying for protect the law, but in other words, it is right for say then they preserve values and things them way the moral. But the one they want the law and they try for protect and say now so the law say when I get for abide by them. I try to say protect the law. But here you see the values there now. But the values then I didn't vary. Where this in I did then get for the try pay attention more. And the period I did believe say I don't know how much then be not engaged from the time when they change this because then they don't they get repeated orders them and briefings them from 2018, 2019 till they change this to a kind of an act. But how far they don't they engage them and then say for realize the time when they change this, say this not immediate thing. But looking at the fragile situation backward in the country, you go try for this well how this could go for balance, where they bring something new, where they will go for can't take, where they don't see the law, new in the sense as a law, but not new in them knowing it. So you see, get for pull idea, then they get the people them. So that brings me now down to waiting the voices of the people and they talk. You know they able for talk and voice your ability, say, mean as citizens, like we see the citizen manifesto, it can't work if you now one great person, if you like saying a voice in the desert. So waiting the citizen they do, they try for associate their own way so that they will able for link to a party. And the party na they expect say go able for join with them so they will bring their ideas. Either the government idea where they don't bring the merger with the public idea. So that idea then they will work with policy. We go say either the country now so one let him be or the policy we don't put as a government, we then will work with them. But in other words, the people in defend a voice. They defend a voice because if you self no more, TINAP they are not belong to no party. I don't say TINAP no more say let the government change this or one let a government where they come. No. So what's in linking? Then they link so to the parties. So because of this again, the politicians then they not say who get people who get for one camp to we. So you did they get them when they go fetch them through this way when this so much old age style where they say okay now rally or now other things or any method now. But for the MC, then they use their voice for let them go form the party. But if they ask if not a liberal one, who would they say the people and they able forget what they need and their voice go they but again that one they have to say now a journey where they take gradually for long go reach liberal democracy. But because of na hyper democracy, there is democracy, but now more of hyper, it's very, very hyper because the politicians then get zeal, then they bypass this, and the therefore say, okay, now democracy, they go this, you see the enthusiasm, they go, they see enthusiasm, they come in different way. People and they bring rhetorics for say, oh, now this, say, so you put the point between then now what the people that will not say then get for voice, how we will able for echo right now, we will take on board as politicians, we will not use them, we will not just ignore them, how we will able for go pass them. So you they see that point now saying that the politicians and the parties then they say, okay, this is not a party, we would relatively try for let will get people in for help. So that idea there because of politicians and they try for hide behind the points, it will not say then people are then get voice. They want them voice like come, but they not go to Napianda, so they must get for belong to this party for can exercise them vote, and that vote then we expect for turn to then you voice who they want for let it go. But because of it always not the end for wherein the politicians they wouldn't can now, so they not go on this draw. Because when you get multi-party in a day, you will get that chance for doing anything there. But when they say get one single party, no, they get anything there. So because of the advantage of the multi-party with this PRO they can now, well, when they put on for say the multi-party, because I know they see that the people then get for transit to say, no, we give them the chance for let them voice to be heard. But because we don't want to give them voice to be heard, we just don't go accept them as numbers who will just go make we win, and then the voice not come, then they come back to the same thing, wherein you get now people who they begin to grow, they get still few people who they begin to understand, they become tyrant at the group, then they feel the older they know, that then the one way they talk to the swing voters, one the supporters the way they go, and then the one they want to be few operatives who they begin to land now, soon as they land there, then they begin to see. Some they see, then they break back, begin to go to another party and say, how straight the old man they get idea, either have a passionate again. But the point is here is let politicians then they use the voices of the people who then they always say. And the one that wouldn't they know that they come to the party, then use that voice this yes, now that voice here would they take as a vote. Not to vote for numbers for long, we have voices. So that's only thing I only hope say God will able help lead us and for look. But there is a transition we look fast, where assisting and they give the challenges for people and behavior, how then we will put them lawyer, how then we accept, and then the laws. But there is a speedy transition where I believe say the PPRC get for look to human behavior, not just for the press they go. Because whatever it be, it must protect in office back. But we're not hearing from the other voices, but from based on what you get, it tells us to get forensics of whatever they do. But now the behavior, I believe, say it's still not for accept, because towards the end of the conversation, I suspect say it's still they try for say, well, they're not make the police then get let them go do they say there is a change of a communication the way he try for say now power or strong will they use, wherein if he say just for try to understand. But he try for protect himself against there is something right going on. But me believes in a behavior challenges na he get na between the MOU we don't use to, they don't even they do, and then now for putting out an act, and the period is so short, and looking at the situation and the culture and the values, then I did the intake. So let go help no more, they're able to forget through this election, fine. But me believes and I challenge they get in terms of behavior pattern. When our people and behavior is dealing with, so they have to understand that. And the people are the party members. And the party members, if you blame the leaders, then they avoid the party members. You go, they pull the right of the voters, they ignore them because of the leaders, they wouldn't lead them. So, but because of the citizens, let them go, they ignore. So I think we will get something for go. And then we for letting go before. Because now all the citizens just get for, I mean, the politicians are not more than the citizens. Citizens are more than the politicians. So now they can get for it just through a balance. Thank you very much, legal information. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, your friend.
You're welcome, yes, sir.
Yeah. The comment section, eh? Okay. In fact, today first the phone line get problem. Phone line get problem today. No, they can't leave here. Yeah? Lord, bring come Umar. Just quick one, Umar. Your take, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much, AAA. I listened to the guy, just like what Tabi said earlier, where you inform me, but I know the constraint where you've been there under. But you know what? Politician, them this guy I'm not gonna call him politician. Now public office he occupy. But when they don't talk down to me to what he say, I don't see any problem. But like what somebody can say that the implementation. When they implement something, make it not turn out then looking like say they come out biasly, because given the nature of we country where all the them public offices here, all the institutions here, now the executive now they appoint the people and where they head the institutions here. So, and given in Africa we did, if na yeah, even if na the executive na appoint the institution here, they need to do within head of institutions that they do in Africa. But because yeah, they're not good, it not go happen. Yeah, democracy they play, even if na Biden na hire you, as long as na public office they, if you make problem, then they take you in a court and the judge where they go meet go rule against you. We just see a couple of days ago, I understand, say the one that would be take Biden a court against that student loan, even the way the Republicans have been there against that and then get 9-3 now the Supreme Court, but Supreme Court decide not to touch that. It send them back. I mean, it refused for taker, even though now 9 Supreme Court judges, 6 days when a Republican appointees. So, but that will not get that in Africa. So that makes something in the when then guy, even if then they do their job, we always they look and say, oh, you favor SLPP or you favor APC because now APC they na power, na Anes Puchide, or now na mother they na power, na mother Puchide. So the decision the way they make, na decision that we only favor SLPP. So what you me see and listen to today, I really don't see any problem. I don't see any problem. Let we give peace chance. Because this same thing what we experienced, so we experienced in 2017 to 2018 election. The other side, where they cry today, they mean they right in cahoot with them people, yeah. Now then they on the other side of the aisle, all hell broke loose. So let we just like what the man say, let we respect each other. This is not to the end of the world. I know say elections can change lives. Election they change decisions making. But what do we want? Fight for that day, we end up put the country in a chaos. So let we all just calm down, drink cool water, Kool-Aid, whatever. Let the voters them. We don't pick up the card, let the day come, let them go vote. But I kind of day in line to a lot of things that we say, especially the other things that we say with Madam Femi. And he said and get record. So if Madam Femi want to challenge them, they can go there record and they say, these are the conversation that will be the girl with you. Now the things in the way what you say, now the things in the way what we say. So to me, like you say, now 2 minutes, I know how old people they can not in the comment section, somebody go don't cost me myself. But that's okay. That's okay. So now that no more, me brother. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Umar.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Ezekiel is here. But if we pay attention truly, we will able for don't understand exactly the laws. You know, say I don't talk now about the money campaign, and the laws are there, and the implementation. Yes, Bangura, unfortunately for you, you can't late by the conversation. You can't late by the conversation. So maybe if you go back and listen, also I'll start. It will be better. My main contest is triple. Why will lawmakers then elect for do everything in a rush? Why they not introduce this law last year? With the election dates be long. Anyway, Uncle Abdulai don't keep we tonight. We don't keep we tonight. Go there back tomorrow. Go there back tomorrow. Gando, they told the common eye they come. Today will start quick. Because we will get a special guest. So that's why. Yesterday, not by now, self would they start. Yesterday, I will start very late. If you face and not ask you question, no vex for me. But go listen back. Maybe something the way you all ask and not also ask, but your question be there among. Go there back tomorrow. Gando, thank you for the stars. All right.